Good evening. Welcome to your District 2 annual meeting. At 7:01, there are 31 registered voters, district voters in attendance, and we now have a quorum and can begin the meeting. The district warrants were advertised in the Dartmouth Week paper on Thursday, April 18th, and posted at the Dartmouth Town Hall and several locations within the district. Could we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic. Okay. Article 1, to elect a moderator to preside over the district meetings for the ensuing year. Do I have a nomination for district moderator? Do I have a second? Second. All in favor of Melissa Haskell being the moderator? Aye. Okay, Melissa?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for electing me to be the moderator for this annual fire district meeting. I'm very honored by your election of me into this role. Why don't we start the meeting by introducing the people up here this evening? So, Mr. Abrantes, would you introduce the Prudential Committee for me, please?
Of course, Mr. Paul Abrantes. Mr.
John Souza.
John Souza.
Ralph Medeiros.
Ralph Medeiros.
Fantastic, thank you. And Chief Turcotte, could you introduce yourself and the other members up here with me, please?
I'm Fire Chief Eric Turcotte. This is Deputy Chief Wayne Thomas, our Clerk and Treasurer Cheryl Abrantes, and our District Attorney Ishihara.
Thank you very much. So there's not a huge crowd here, but let's go over the ground rules for today. So just so we're all started on the same page. If you haven't already, will you put your phone on vibrate so that it doesn't go off during our meeting? So what I will do is I will read the title of every article. You know what, I need to also set an alarm. We have a special at 7:15, and I tend to blow through them if I don't have an alarm on. So, 1 second, I'm gonna set an alarm so we make sure we go into the special as required. Okay, thank you. So after I've read the article, each article, I will ask for a motion and a second from a member of the district. After the main motion has been made and seconded, I'll open the floor for discussion. If you wish to speak on an article before us, please raise your card. I will try to recognize people in the following order. First, those that have not previously spoken at all, and second, those who have not spoken on the article being debated. There's a microphone in the center. If you would like to speak on an article, I ask that you line up at the microphone, please. Every time you speak, please give your name, and I ask all residents to pose any questions you have to the chair, which is me. I'll do my best to get you the answers that you need. Fire district residents do not cross-examine each other, or the fire command or the Prudential Committee or anyone else in attendance here. It's not a trial or an interrogation. It's an annual meeting, and we're trying to get information and use that information to make good decisions, okay? Only the person recognized by the moderator may speak. You may not yield your time. We have no formal speaking limits, but please be brief. If we have a lot of discussion, you can always move the question and we can go to a vote, but I think we're going to be okay tonight. All our votes are a show of hands. And I think that's it. I'm going to start with a preliminary motion. So move that a telecount not need to be taken on motions requiring 2/3, 4/5, or 9/10 vote, and that the moderator may declare whether the motion passes or fails. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, all in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. Our preliminary motions passed at 7:06. All right, so let's get started. Article 2, to see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money to fund the compensation of the following positions or take any other action relative thereto. Prudential Committee, 3 at $1,800 each, or $5,400. Town Assessors, 3 at $200 each, or $600. And Moderator at $200, $100 per meeting. Do I have a motion? And a second? Thank you. Any discussion on Article 2? Mr. Garfield.
John Garfield from Precinct, this isn't a precinct, is it?
I know, District 2, we're all from the same
Just
district.
John Garfield. Anyway, I would like to make an amendment to this, to move that we strike the phrase "town assessors 3 at $200 each" for a total of $600, and moderator at $200 or to $100 per meeting.
Okay, so I have a motion to strike that language. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you. Any discussion on this amendment?
The rationale is, it's, for example, the assessors, more than anything, the assessors are the 3 town assessors, and they haven't raised a finger for this district to do anything for probably the last 30 years, and we've been paying them. Traditionally, it used to be that the assessors were part of the district and elected by the district to keep an eye on things that we were doing. That has not happened, and I think it's just time that we just eliminate that off the bat. The moderator, I love her dearly, but geez, you're not worth $200.
I don't think I am either. I think he's right on that one. As I personally, so separated from the role, I personally support the taking down of the moderator's pay to 0. The town moderator does not currently receive any payment for doing town meetings, and this is less of a lift, honestly. So, and I was on the finance committee that voted that town meeting not pay the moderator. So I'm certainly in support of that as well. Any other discussion on Article 2, the amendment to Article 2?
John, right here.
Yes.
Ralph Maderas. John, on the assessors, this is, as you know, it's the town assessors. Yes. And they set our tax rate. We haven't had assessors internally for quite a while. We haven't elected them. It's going way back.
But we've continued this payment of money to the town assessors, and they don't even know what they get it, and all of a sudden they get a check in the mail. They've never done anything for us. I know that.
But I think that's because they set out, we go to them, I don't know if it's worth the $600 here, the money you usually get, but
Go to
we
the
go for their annual meeting to set the tax rate.
you go
So
to
they
the
are.
director of assessing. You don't go to the elected three
Well,
that you go
they sit there
to.
at the meeting. They are at the meeting when we're there.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, I know. Hey, that's the time I've seen Kevin Santos and the other gentleman there.
Really?
Yeah. John
Do
County.
they? That's something new then. So
Mr. Souza?
I'm still gonna let's get this voted
Yeah.
one way or
Mr.
the other.
Souza?
Yeah, Melissa, I don't think this is the way we should be operating amendments from the floor. You elect the Prudential Committee to make recommendations to you folks. This is the first we've heard of it. I'm surprised John has attended many of our Prudential Committee meetings. He could have brought this forward. And we could have done our homework and studied the pros and cons, hear comments like Ralph, hear my comments, and made a recommendation to you. You know, I can't make a recommendation to you on the fly this evening. You know, I want to do my homework on the issue, so I'm opposed to the amendment. You know, I really don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea. Again, I'd like to do my homework.
Please.
Thank you, Joan Menard. Weirdly, District 1 pays them $150 each.
Interesting. Any further discussion on the amendment? Are we ready to vote on the amendment? All in favor of the amendment made by Mr. Garfield, please indicate by raising your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. The amendment passes at 7-11. Okay, back to the main motion as amended. So the total amount would be reduced to, I believe it's $5,400. Somebody should probably check. I'm sorry. No, it would be reduced by 800, so it's 62 less 800, right? 54, yeah, okay. So the amended amount total is, I thought maybe my math was wrong, is $5,400. Okay, so on the main motion before us, all in favor of Article 2 as amended, please raise your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. Article 2 passes at 712. Article 3, to see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money to fund the compensation for the following positions or take any other action relative thereto. Fire chief, $95,502. District clerk, $3,500. And district treasurer, $15,000. Do I have a motion? And a second? Second. Thank you. Any discussion on Article 3? Are we ready to vote? All in favor of Article 3, please raise your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. Article 3 passes at 712. Article 4, to see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money to fund the following general expense accounts. Building account, $35,000. General insurance, $61,000. General fund, $92,000. Health insurance, $26,500. And county retirement, $57,933. Do I have a motion? And a second for Article 4? Any discussion on Article 4? Are we ready to vote? All in favor of Article 4, please raise your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. Article 4 passes at 713. Article 5, to see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money to fund the compensation of the following positions or take any other action relative thereto. Deputy chief stipend, $36,000. Full-time firefighter, 2, $120,694. Fire inspector stipend, $12,000. Full-time firefighters overtime, $10,000. Full-time firefighters uniform allowance, $2,000. Full-time firefighter EMT stipends, $400, and to stipulate that these stipends shall be paid to the individual holding these positions. Do I have a motion? And a second? Thank you. Any discussion on Article 5? Are we ready to vote? All in favor of Article 5, please raise your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. Article 5 passes at 714. Article 6, to see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money to fund the following operational expense accounts or take any other action relative thereto. Chief's account, $5,550. Fire alarm / communications, $10,000. Fire equipment new, $20,000. Fire equipment repairs and maintenance, $12,000. Fire gear and uniforms, $20,000. Fire prevention, public education, $5,000. Physicals and recruitment, $6,000. Vehicle repairs and maintenance, $30,000. Fuel, $10,000. Do I have a motion for Article 6? And a second? Any discussion on Article 6? Yes. Will you come to the mic for me? You can pass the mic. We can pass the mic if you would prefer that.
No, it's fine. Claude Gelinas, just a quick question on maintenance of the vehicles. Last year was 20,000, this year's 30. Just heads up as to why and what's going on that requires the extra 10,000.
Great question.
Increased pricing of labor charges for the companies that service the vehicles is one of them. And additionally, we have a couple of items that need to be repaired above and beyond the normal stuff, which is the reason why we upped that a little bit.
Any further discussion on Article 6? Are we ready to vote? All in favor of Article 6, please raise your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. Article 6 passes at 7:16. Do I have a motion to adjourn so that we might go into the special district meeting? Thank you. Do I have a second on that motion to adjourn? All in favor of adjourning for the special, adjourning for the annual town meeting? Thank you. May I have a motion to open the special town meeting? Yes, and a second on the special town meeting. All in favor of opening the special town meeting? Thank you. The district, am I calling it a town meeting? Okay, sorry. It's an occupational hazard, I think. This is why you're not paying me. You get what you pay for. So all in favor of opening, so we have passed the motion to open the special district meeting. So we have Article 1 of the special district meeting to see if the district will vote to allocate from the certified free cash $1,488.87 to pay 2 unpaid compliance testing services, Inc. bills from fiscal year 2022 and fiscal year 2023, to pay an unpaid Granger bill fiscal year 2023, and to pay an unpaid Debbie's uniform and supply bill from fiscal year 2023. This requires a 9/10 vote. Everything else has been a majority vote. So do I have can somebody make that motion for me? And a second. Thank you. Any discussion on, yes, Mr.
It was 78 cents, not 87 cents.
I'm sorry. So on the first one, it's $1,488.78. I just got flustered. Thank you for correcting that. Anything else on this article? Are we ready to vote on Article 1? All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. Article 1 for the special district meeting of Fire District 1 passes at see what I mean? At 7:18. Do I have a motion to dissolve the special district meeting of Fire District 2? And a second. All in favor of dissolving? Thank you. Opposed? The special meeting is dissolved. I'm not going to try and say it again. It's dissolved at 7:19. Okay, do I have a motion to reopen the annual meeting? And a second. All in favor? Great. We're reopening the annual meeting at 7:19 p.m. Article 7, to see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate a sum of money to fund the compensation of the following positions or take any other action relative thereto. Call firefighters, $40,000. Firefighter details and station coverage, drills, and EMT stipends, $70,000, such that no non-full-time member shall work more than 100 hours in a 1-month period. Do I have a motion? And a second. Any discussion on Article 7? Are we ready to vote? All in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. Article 7 passes at 7:20 p.m. Article 8, to see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $40,000 for the reserve fund. This fund is accessible by the Prudential Committee for any extraordinary or unforeseen expenditures that may arise. The remaining balance will close out at the end of the year and convert to free cash. Do I have a motion? And a second. Any discussion on Article 8? Are we ready to vote? All in favor of Article 8, please raise your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. Article 8 passes at 7:20. Article 9, to see if the district will vote to allocate from the certified free cash reserve the following amounts. Purchase of a drone and the associated training and licensing, $20,000. Do I have a motion? And a second. Thank you. Any discussion on Article 9? Are we ready to vote? All in favor of Article 9, please raise your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. Article 9 passes at 7:21. Article 10 requires a 2/3 vote to see if the district will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $60,000 for the stabilization fund The stabilization fund can be used for any lawful purpose and requires a 2/3 vote to appropriate from it. I'm sorry, the article only requires a majority vote. Do I have a motion? And a second. Any discussion on Article 10? Mr. Garfield?
I'm sorry, but I just want to congratulate the Prudential Committee for coming up with the number of $60,000. It's been underfunded for the last couple of years, and to see it getting back up closer to where it really should be and could be for this department, I think is just great. That's all I had to say.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion on Article 10? Are we ready to vote? All in favor of Article 10, please raise your hand. Opposed, please raise your hand. Article 10 passes at 7:22. I would entertain a motion to dissolve the Fire District 2 annual meeting. And a second. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. We are dissolved. Thank you very much, everyone.